And welcome to an Eternium video, one that's been requested by a viewer, which is, can I show my experience farm build, which is yes I can. Bear in mind this is completely overpowered for farming experience. There's a couple of builds, or several builds, not several, 3 or 4 we can go through. This is the one that I use mainly for Death From Above farming. There's another for Frostbeam farming. I've got one for Warrior, I'll show you that as well, and then there's one that I want to change this Death From Above build, and so we'll show that one as well. But the build that I typically use, you don't need Celestial gear for experience farming. I just had such an excess of Celestials or Celestial transforms that I've gone ahead and just made this crazy overpowered. This character I use for Death From Above farming at trial 102, and experience gained tops out around trial 102, 103, and then you don't get more experience for farming higher. The reason people pick 105 regularly is that it will always be a snow map and always Kara. This will always be a forest jungle map with Broken Dragon that we use this one for. So the helm, I have haste, experience, power and ability rate are the stats that I've put on, and then because it's Celestial it has vitality added on. And I'm using a Firelily build. I've added 50 power through socketing a brilliant ruby. In addition to that, I've given it a plus 10% fire damage enchantment from the blacksmith. The necklace is pure experience, so these are all perfect experience necklaces. There'll be a video shortly coming out if I ever get round to making it on jewellery crafting. Again, that's enchanted with power, trying to get as much damage out as possible. The shoulders, ability rate, experience, power, haste, and enchanted with power. The chest is power, haste, ability rate, experience, vitality added in through the Celestial transform, 2 brilliant rubies socketed, and some life on hit thrown in as an enchantment. Integralis mantle, ability rate, haste, experience, power, the stats I chose. Vitality comes from Celestial, another brilliant ruby and 50 power. Well, that gives us the 50 power, and the enchantment also gives us another 50 power there. Talisman of power, haste, fire damage, experience, ability rate, and then vitality from the Celestial, and 50 power added in as a socket. Our Firelily, experience, haste, fire damage, ability rate, vitality from the Celestial, and again 50 power socketed. The arm guards, we've seen a fairly common set of stats here: ability rate, experience, power, haste, vitality again from the Celestial, 50 power socketed. Enchantments for Mage on the gloves are pretty poor, just got 100 armour on there. The Bracer of Mastery is haste, ability rate, fire damage, experience. Death From Above is being increased by 191% on this one. We've got no control over what we get here, something that I'd like to see changed in the future. It'd be a bit of a wish list thing. Sash of the Igniter, fire damage, experience, ability rate, haste, vitality coming from Celestial, and power socketed. The Regalia Pants got haste, ability rate, experience and movement speed. Vitality coming from Celestial transform, more power socketed, and movement speed enchanted. So similar story with the boots, except obviously these aren't celestial, so we don't have the vitality stats. Ability rate, haste, movement speed, experience, socket with power, and add a movement speed enchantment. Rings, pure, perfect power, vitality, ability rate, and experience. And then enchanted with even more power and socketed with power, and the other one is identical, is it? Yes. I think there's a very old news video where I actually made those, so you can see how I did those, but it's basically 9 perfect power, 9 perfect experience, 5 perfect haste, 4 perfect ability rate going into those. And the weapons, Igneous has got power, ability rate, experience, haste. It's socketed with more power, and we have the Slayer enchantment added to that. And Glacius Tempestus, power, haste, experience and ability rate, and obfuscation enchanted there. And again we have power socketed. If we have a quick look at the stats, now we need to bear in mind that I've got 100% EXP booster on here. We've also got 10% more life, and movement speed is slightly increased from food. On our champion levels, obviously with Firelily, we'll fill up haste and absolutely everything else goes to power. We can't do crits, so let's not put any stat points into those. Defense is just fully maxed out, and so is utility, which gives us a lot of damage. I'd like to get this up to over 8,000 at some stage. I'll have to make some tweaks, which is possible. Haste is at 5.7 hits per second, but that doesn't mean I'm getting 5.7 hits per second. In the training grounds it works out at 5.5. I'd need that to be at 5.75 to get 5.75 hits per second. So it's 5.5 all the way up to 5.75, and then it changes to 5.75, and then no change until I hit 6. So that's 5.5 hits per second. Crit rating, crit damage is purely from being level 70 plus medals, but in reality it's 0 and 0 with this. Fire damage is at 98.7. We've got lots of life, lots of armour. Life on hit, we've got 400 from the enchantment, we've got 1,000 from champion points, and then the rest is from medals. Ability rate is extremely high, you don't need anywhere near this much. It gives us a 39% cooldown reduction. 1500 is enough, but 1500 to 2000 is probably enough, really. 2674 way too high, which is part of the changes that I can make in the future. Our movement speed at 32.9, and experience gained at the moment is 2880 with a 100% bonus. It goes up over 3,000 and something, well, over 4,000 with the 200% bonus. Build is Frostbolt, Arc Lightning, Immolate, Frost Nova, Death From Above. We've got Fleet Footed for movement speed, Glass Cannon for more damage, and Power Infusion. Let's just do a quick 102 with this, even though we've probably seen this plenty of times in other videos. It's a case of rounding up sort of about a third or half map. A good map you can complete the mob phase in pretty much 2 pulls, but we don't want to get things too scattered. We want everything nice and grouped up so we can just blow them away. So about 50% done off that first one. We can go and round up some more. Be nice to do this in just 2 pulls. I'm just trying to move around a bit to ball them up naturally. That's good. And now we can just do our Death From Above on Broken Dragon. Now you see that it's nowhere near as powerful at this stage as, say, the Frostbeam build. But that's how that one works. I'll do one more Death From Above. This is what I want to change to. Now I'd like at least these 3 items to become level 77, and if I can get a 75 bracer then great. So I'll just quickly remove the ones that I've got here. Let's put them in the same positions. So the changes here, I'm dropping the haste from the bracer that we had and replacing it with frost damage. And here we're dropping ability rate that we had and replacing that with frost damage. Again here, ability rate removed and frost damage added. And the last one, ability rate removed and frost damage added. And the reason for that is to improve our damage at the Broken Dragon stage. So, because those aren't level 77 items, obviously our fire damage has come down, but we've now got 71.2% frost damage. I've got a separate video on how to get those 2 damage types on gear, because if you were to try and craft, say, a talisman of power with these stats, it won't let you select them. If we go through, what am I doing that for? For example, if I had ability rate and power on there, if I select fire damage, I can't select frost damage. So the way around that is, let's just stick any old stat in, drop it back to epic, and now we can put in our fire, and we've got fire and frost. Got a separate video on that, plus some of the warnings about if you want to go down that route. But let's have a quick look at that one in action, see if we can get a semi-decent run. So because we have lower fire damage at the moment, our shatters aren't going to be quite as powerful, but the frost damage that we've got means that we'll do a lot more damage through our thermal shock when we come to fight the Broken Dragon. It is with talisman procs, you can one hit the Broken Dragon with this build. You didn't quite get it all in 2 pulls. You see that first hit did a lot more damage. It's 103, not too bad. At the moment with that gear, I think the fastest I've done is a 51-second clear, which isn't the fastest that I've achieved. So if I put back on this gear, I might pause the video just so I can find where the, actually it will be, I do have a Frostbeam build somewhere. which is possibly this and this. So let's just check. So with Frostbeam, the only things that are changing here, we really want frost damage on all these items. I've got fire. It would be preferable to have frost damage instead of fire damage on those. But this is going to be plenty powerful enough anyway. We don't want Death From Above, we want Frostbeam. Let's just stick with 102. This is way too strong. It will melt the broken dragon at the end. Even with the lack of frost damage. I'm trying not to do too much experience farming with Frostbeam at the moment, just because it makes me extremely lazy on the sort of crit push build. So nothing survives that Frostbeam, it's ridiculous. Oh, it's almost dead. And 54 seconds. So Frostbeam is still very powerful, but I'm not a great fan of experience farming with it. Let's just set the character back to what I like to use, and then we shall take a quick look at Warrior and we shall be done. So that and that's back into there. Death From Above back in here in a couple of seconds. Thank you. Now, I've not played Warrior for a little while, so this may get messy. We're past Christmas. Can you tell that the character might have been made at that time of year? So, what do we have here? I think it's Full Fury. Yes, so I have Fury Helm, crit damage, experience ability rate, extra gold, with physical damage, ability rate, power, crit damage, experience, socket with power, and more power added in. Did we have a... yes, physical damage. Crit damage, experience, ability rate, extra gold on the shoulders. No enchantments on any of this. You can get away with epics quite nicely with Warrior. So crit damage, ability rate, experience on the top. No, nothing socketed. Crit damage, ability rate, experience, and some power enchanted. Crit damage, physical damage, experience on the Talisman of Storms. Crit damage, experience, ability rate, physical damage on Wind Spirit. Crit damage, experience, ability rate on gloves. No enchantment on there. Vitality, power, crit damage, physical damage on the Bracer of Mastery with Frenzy on there. Just came out. Belt of the Whirling Storm, ability rate, physical damage, experience, and crit damage, and socketed with power. Our boots, crit damage, experience, movement speed, extra gold, and some movement speed. Ability rate, power, crit damage, experience. We've got power, socketed power, enchanted. Crit rating, ability rate, vitality, crit damage, crit rating. It's interesting. I don't have any experience on that ring. Probably because I didn't have a spare crit build experience ring. I'd probably drop vitality for experience if I was to make that one. Crit damage ability rate experience on the Whirlwind Axe with Slayer. Cleaver again has Slayer with crit damage experience and ability rate. And you're probably thinking, well, where's the crit rating coming from? It comes out of, I believe it's charge. So we've got Cleave and Frenzy for our auto attacks. Whirlwind at level 10, we're going to drag enemies around with us with that at level 10. Charge does 300% weapon damage, but as you can see it increases crit rating by 2000 for 3 seconds. So that's where we get the crit rating from, so we don't need it in the build that much. Still nice to get about 1000 in there, so it gets you up to 50% crit chance once you've done your leap, charge. Then we've got leap, and then we have power infusion, tough as nails, and fleet-footed for some movement speed. In terms of those stats, obviously our power and damage is way down on what we see on the Mage, but we can clear a lot faster. Haste, perfectly fine. We get attack speed boost from our abilities. Crit rating, as I say, I like about 1000 just to get that up to the 50% crit chance. We'll be just under that with this. 1870 crit damage, 96.2 physical, plenty of life and armour. Life on hit in this case is purely the 1000 from champion levels and 300 from medals. Again, we've got too much ability rate here. Enough movement speed to be getting by with, and our base experience is 1140. This is probably going to run at 105. Why not? We'll see how well we do. So we'll round things up. Not the cleverest of starts. This is definitely a messy run. So it's not going to be fast, but it's demonstrating. I should imagine 3 or 4 runs and I'd be going a bit quicker than this. Yes, we've got enough going on there. And so 45 seconds, so I'm not going to turn my nose up at that, we can go faster. So although I get less experience overall from a run with Warrior, I probably get more experience per minute, but I like playing Mage. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to put them down below, and thank you very much for watching.